So let's try that again. Right, so we're in TikTok. Let's have a go at setting this up. I will absolutely guarantee you 5 seconds in we'll get banned. Right, so we're in there. Output TikTok server. Please enter your stream server. Live recording. I can't even remember how to do this. Get live studio. Nope. Like, where do we even get the details we need? Let's ask Tinterweb. Where do I find the TikTok server and TikTok stream key? It says I do it in a live center, but I open a live center and we get just this page. Nothing on there. Go live is not even an option in there. I'm signed in. Go live and reconnect your viewers. Yeah, no shit. Where's the go live button then? It actually says go live and then there's absolutely no button to go live with. There we go, it's hidden inside a menu. Wow, download for Mac. I've got to install an app now. It's a shame because TikTok got like literally hundreds of viewers. At one point we had like I think 500 right when it got banned, and then when we rejoined again we only ended up getting like 40, 50 and it was still getting banned. So this will be one last attempt at this because I did say I wasn't going to bother doing it again. It probably won't work anyway, but we'll see. Log in again to begin. Morning, welcome in. It's probably not even morning actually, is it afternoon now? I need to hide my keyboard from camera so I don't type my passwords. Morning for you then. Oh yeah, I remember this. You can't even use the TikTok app on Mac because it says maximum login attempts, even though you've never logged in. Do we even have TikTok on this phone? Yes, I do. My TikTok is just pugs. Let's try and scan this. Open up. Log in this way. Yeah, I remember this before. And then we'll give this a go. Right, for beginners, go live now. Skip the intro. Allow. Wow, it wants about 700 permissions. Not now. Tools. I think this is one of them weird things where you have to use a virtual camera or something. Live access is enabled. Yeah, so I have access, but I still see nowhere to get a stream key. Co-host, live goal, multi-guest, fan club. I think this is one where I think Atom only really supports it on like the US, so I don't think we can even do it. So screw that for now. We will ignore TikTok. YouTube's up by the looks of it though, so let me just edit the titles and we'll get going. So TikTok's done, Facebook's done, I think. Yep, cool. Comment on that and edit this title. And there we go. Right, so let me just fix up these first. these are the Clean Juice AA boards that are the prototypes that I just need to change some values for a few customers that are nicking the prototypes off us, basically. So I need to get my message on screen, what I need to change, which is here. So first thing I need to do is change R7 and R9, which is just LED brightness. So that's that one and that one, yeah. So we'll change. These two are too dull. So if we plug in like a USB, it doesn't look that dull on camera, but that's like they're really dull and they need to shine through the case. So we'll change the resistors on them first. I've now got this on screen, so when I pick up my JBC Iron, you can see there we've got a graph, so you can see the temps and stuff like that. So let's have a go at soldering. I've also got a bit better at soldering since yesterday using it. Now I'm getting a bit more used to it. So we'll swipe that one off. Light up the LED using the soldering iron. So that's them off. We want like 500 ohm will be bright enough, I reckon. In fact, it wants to be really bright, sort of shine through the case, so I'm going to get like 390 ohm. And then we'll be on a Master System 2 after this, doing a clean RGB mod on it, and if we get time, a Mega Drive one as well. Now, if we go on to this, are we zoomed in all the way? I think we are, yeah. So the one thing I've found out with this iron is you kind of makes you solder a bit better, or at least put your iron in a better position to make good contact with the board, because it only puts the power on when it detects that it needs the power. So if you're not angling the iron right and you're kind of not positioning your iron in a good place, the power isn't there. So it sort of forces you into really, I guess, doing your solder joint better, like putting the iron in a position that it should be in versus no matter where you put it, it's got power. And then you can see on this graph up the top, the red's the temp, which is rock solid, and the blue is the amount of power that it puts in. So when we're doing small things like this, you can see you get barely any power. And if we went to do like a USB cage like this, you'll see it'll pump more and more and more power until it needs to maintain temps. And that'll obviously, stuttery camera, that'll then make, you know, soldering onto the metal cages. So it's very much controlled by the actual things you're soldering. So like I say, it does make, when you get used to how it works, it's different than every other iron where you can just put your iron anywhere. You need to make sure the iron touches the places it should. And then this will be a test to see how long this lasts as well, because this has got quite a lot of work to do with almost non-stop soldering. So we've got these two boards to fix up, then we've got a clean RGB to do, and there's natural gaps in between when I'm getting stuff ready. So it'll be interesting to see if I need to get two of these irons, or whether for my workflow it'll sort of naturally last. But I'm definitely liking the fact there's no wire on this. Like, you can just swap hands and you know, like nothing there. So very convenient for moving around. You can even like put it down and pick it back up when you need it. So I don't want to lose the convenience of the cord free. So I'll probably end up buying a second one if needed. But we'll just see how this lasts. And you put it in and it starts charging in between. So that's them resistors on both of them. So now that should be brighter. There we go, much brighter. I need to. The prototypes, this won't work, this low indicator, unfortunately. So for the 2 people that are getting this, I can always chuck them a final production one in when they arrive, but they can have these for now to get their orders going. And it's just because the footprint of this was wrong. The pinouts didn't update basically in the keycard when I did this. It just kept the old footprint, even though it was meant to updated. So I noticed that obviously when I was testing. So the production ones, that's fixed on, but these 2 prototypes, that'll just be basically missing. What other changes do we need? We've swapped them down, we've removed that. We need extra caps on the 5-volt rail. So this one, because I've changed the regulator for the 5-volt now to a different one, this needs an extra cap. And then I believe this needs an extra cap as well. This is the battery charge circuit. So this is the voltage that takes the 5 volts, bumps it up to 10 into here, and then the battery charge circuit's up here, I believe, or the other way around, I can't remember which. In fact, it's got to be, no, so that's 34 volts, whereas the battery charge circuit here. So this boosts the voltage up, this charges the battery, but we need extra capacitance on here, and I think we need to change that resistor as well. So let's do the caps first. Tipped off with the caps on the floor. There we go. So we want, let me double check, but I'm sure it's that one. U13 and 14. So U14, oh no, I was wrong, all the way around. It's, or am I? It's this one that needs an extra cap. So the original was, yeah, this bottom one. So we need to stack one on top of here. It's a simple way of doing that. I think that's tacked on already. I don't recall the cap I'm using last time being this big though. I think I've used a much larger one this time. That's on, so that side, but this side isn't yet. Is that also the same pin or not? Ground, no, of course it isn't, so I can't short that. Can't move that one over. Have you tried the new one I posted this morning with the infrared updates and real-time clock? I've already posted an update to it. Need to move this cap out of the way, I think, a minute. I think for the next one, I'm definitely going to make a smaller cap because that is, it's very close. Yeah, that's on fine. It's just, it's definitely too large of a cap for that. The other one is probably fine though. The IR obviously still aren't working. Yeah, it's going to be hard for me to debug without like, if you can show me how to get to it quickly. If you do a little video of going from like the start screen to the point where you've got the problem, I can run it through the debugger, like a Game Boy debugger, and then I can breakpoint into the ROM and find the issues. Shouldn't be too hard. So that one can go on there. It's done. So yeah, it was that one I used the big one on. And I mean, it might be a bit close to the screw actually there, but yeah, I think I'll probably just make a smaller cap. I think these are way too big. I just grabbed whatever was under my desk. They are too big to use realistically. Look at that. So small. There we go, I think these are smaller. And let's try and stack this one. And again, to be honest, I think this one is ground power. No, of course, so I've got to stack it. There's just no other ground. There we go, a little bit smaller. That's it. So that's that one on. That one's fine, it's just obviously the next one I'll use a smaller one. So same again on this. And this just makes the temps run lower because when I tested on the scope, this is slightly under capacitance. Even though the last design I had, it used a different regulator, but it only needed 22 microfarads, whereas this one actually needs a bit more to run. It's probably the boost frequency slightly different in it. There we go, that one's on. And then this one. So this was the pain before. I'm going to go this side first, because we can't touch that, because that's ground and that's a power, so we can't touch. And then that is, I don't believe, touching. Yep, so that one's fine, floating out of the way, and now we just need the bridge under there. Where's he gone? There. So that's got that. So that one's on. And we have now, what other changes have we got? That's off, extra cap, so we need to change the voltage of this. So this was 11 volts, or this one was 11 volts, we need to lower it down to 9.5, so we need to change R28, which is, oh, rather this one over here. R28 goes to 1, 147k. So this one wants to be 147k. Oh, head's in the way. Kind of loud, that beep as well. I wonder if we can turn that down. Oh, actually, I'm in the app, aren't I? Let me see if I can do it in the app. The iron, locate settings. Oh, can update. Shall I update my iron? No new film available. Okay. Counters work. I don't know, you can turn that beep off. I don't think you can, to be honest. Oh well, we got the beep. What were we doing? 147k I needed. Got 150, that's close enough for what we need. I can hopefully get a better microscope camera soon as well, and then I could do this under the scope instead of looking at a flat screen, because it's quite difficult to do when I'm miles away from it. Like, I'm basically just looking with my eyes. You can't even see, like, all the way up here. Like, that's my distance. I can see next to nothing. I'm just using the screen as my eyes at the minute, which isn't ideal. But the microscope camera's that bad, I don't really want to use it at the minute. So we got put the extra caps on, remove that, change them, that's to 147, so there's now 25 and 27, and then we're done. So two resistors, R25 and R27. This is the battery charger to lower the speed, otherwise it gets too hot. So R25 is this one, that wants to go to 500. And then R27 wants to go to 47. I think. From 27 to 47. Yeah, so 500, 547. So 510. To it in. These are going to be, I might hot air them. Quite close to them caps. Let me try and micro hot air them out. Really difficult to get to. I think that's stuck on. Now we need to put some fresh solder on them. And then put some flux on. In fact, I think that's the PC app, so that's my PC volume, I think. Let me try and... Oh, I can't turn down volume, why is that? Because it's the TV itself. Let's try and turn down the TV a bit, which is volume. This one maybe. See if that turns down the noise when we get to it. And now hot air this back on. How hot. I'll just catch that bit with the iron. That'll move then when we hot air the other one on, that'll float into position. So we'll leave him there. Let's try and... Yeah, it's definitely a micro hot air job. Let's have a go at using the iron maybe to get this one back on. And then what we'll do is we'll put some hot air on this after to float them back into the centre pads. So the last one was, I can't remember what we said, 47k was it? Yeah, it was 47k. We'll just hot air them. Use an iron first and then we'll hot air them after. That's that one. And now if we just hot air these should kind of flow into position now if we want them nice and central. So a little bit of flux. And then because these are actually the right components on the right pads, I should be able to get them to just flow into, well, you'll see basically, it should just move nice and central hopefully. So that's a slight nudge, but that's all in. Hey, welcome in. Just about to do a Master System 2 clean RGB. So what was that one we wrote down? Mega Drive 1, wasn't it? We've got a Mega Drive 1 as well, but we've got a Master System 2 to do as well. So we're gonna have to scope and figure out all the pinouts for that as well. I'm already better at using the JBC as well. I've been saying the ooh, better check if that's touching. That's crazy close, but I don't think it is. It kind of forces you to put your iron in the right spot, basically, because if you don't, then it doesn't put heat on. So that's what I was struggling with yesterday with the USB ports, and then as soon as I went off camera, pretty much built another one, and I managed to use the smallest tip on it to solder that USB port flawlessly. And it's just all about angling the iron at the right places and feeding in from the right thing. So it's literally, like I say, it kind of forces it, because otherwise it won't put the heat down. So if you don't know how to solder right, like clearly I don't, yeah, we're fine. Then you learn from it, because if you don't do it, it doesn't work quite right. But I'm getting better already. Like I said, I've only used it about an hour. In fact, it tells us in the app, doesn't it? So we've got, you'll notice we've got it on screen now as well. Counters, I've used it for 14 minutes, apparently that's wrong. Oh, that'll be this session. Number of events, cartridge changes 2, charges 39, charge. Yeah, oh, this will be the work time on this PC, which is 14 minutes, and on this app, see if it'll tell me without it. Oh, I'd have to boot it up and connect it, so forget that for now. I basically got it connected to Mac. They have an app, so I don't know what made me think of it last night, but I clicked that link in the Twitch description to take you to BIron, and it showed an app for Mac, and I was like, oh, no way. So yeah, dark mode, actually, that's not a bad idea on this one. Let's go. Where is the theme? And tell me this one doesn't have a theme. Yeah, app settings, there we go. Dark, tool, work. No, maybe. You think that's better? Yeah, I suppose it is actually. Could do with making the lines thicker. Counters. If I make this, can I actually resize this? No, I can't resize it. So I can drag it around, but I can't resize it. So maybe I make my own app, but that's good enough for now. Yeah, so that's there. Right, so these are done now. We have, I can zoom in a bit now. These are the prototype clean juice AAs that 2 customers want. This is why you couldn't get one, because 2 customers already nabbed the only 2 I'd got. So I need to put battery springs on, test them, and then they can go. So we'll get them out of the way. Those are the wires that come with it, so they get them. And right, on to Master System 2. Else, right. Move the mini mat away for now. So this has got the built-in ROM, hasn't it? Master System 2. Here's a good clean out after, but it's all stripped and ready. That can all go. It's already had the recap and the clean power. We don't even know where to eject. It's got RF only, so we've not even seen it boot yet. So we'll soon find out. Clean power, don't need that, so I need an actual Mega Drive 2 clean RGB. And then we're going to need a port as well, because we're going to have to take the RF off. So for now, I want to make a little. I can actually change the ROMs on this as well. I could flash a new ROM on, but we'll see what this is. Yeah, we're gonna have to remove the RF, and then I currently just solder it on to there. So it's got a metal cage. We can solder the metal cage upside down straight to the plane, and that'll be good. So we need to. What do you reckon? I think we just cut these legs, get them off separately. So that's them three. Zoom in a bit. There we go. So just cut the three legs going to the RF. We're not going to use this. So now the only thing we need to get off is the cage, which will be this one, and this one, I think. So them 3 points. So I'm probably just going to hot air the whole board. Maybe from there. Something like that. Oh yeah. So, at least the boiler itself is working in some way though. Unlike mine, that's going to have a light switch installed in it later. That's going to put some leaded solder on first to lower the melting point a bit. And on here, I think you were only just saying how good they were as well. Is it just like a general service or yeah, 5-year service? To be honest, in 5 years that's not bad though, is it? Considering a boiler now is like £1,000 minimum. Right, so that is that 98% that battery? Yeah, so we've only put it on charge for not long and it's nearly fully charged again. Right, hot air. Which my hot air doesn't reach. Of course it doesn't. I'll have to turn it that way. I can see me melting my phone case doing this, but never mind. Well, to be honest, it's not as bad as my car, my fancy car. Oh, just got a basic service. You need what is it? It's having an oil change and washer fluid filled up. £1,500. But they'll pick the car up for me and drive it back. And that's a minor service. I'm like, Jesus. Bloody downside of having fancy cars. The best of it is I could do them two things myself in 2 seconds, but you lose your warranty with the manufacturer, obviously, which is ridiculous. Yeah, I nicked that bracket for a microphone in the other room, so I'm live streaming in there now as well for software stuff. So I did have it and I need it back. I think I forgot how convenient it was, and I still need a light, so I need to get 2 more brackets above. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've already got 4 brackets above, but we need another 2, so that'll be 7. 200 for Bob, but that's cheap. £1,500 for windscreen washer fluid. I think what was it, a 3-year service or something they classed as big, which was I don't even know what they did, but it still wasn't. It was like maybe aircon refill or something was in it. I think that was £6,000. It's absolutely ridiculous. You can buy a car for that, but like I say, you won't maintain the value if you don't do proper service. I think this is the wrong way of doing this. I'm tempted to desolder wick this. This feels like way too long for what should be a quick desolder. Oh yeah, so did you see that guy that does, I think it's Matt Armstrong, and it does all the cars up, wrecked cars. The whole Bugatti stuff where like the headlight bits are like £12 and they're charging like £1.5 grand. I just feel the same. Right, we can go to the overhead I think on this one actually. A bit easier for me to see. There we go. Right then, baby tip. So this is not designed for this, but let's see if we can get it going. And look at that, pushing the power, but it's desoldered with a micro tip. And that is, I think, all off. Yeah, look at that, completely clean. So, and this is with the small tip. Wonder what the big tip will do. Big tip. Yeah, it's when you know how to use it now. Like I say, I'm already learning, but when you know how to use this iron, you don't even need the other tips. When I said you need the bigger tips, you really don't. You just need to know how to use the iron, basically. So there we go, get that on there. And then just wait. Just literally sucks it all out. And that's why we can't pull it out, they're twisted. But yeah, this kind of changes the thought of desolder wick not working. Maybe just the irons were never good enough. So that I can twist like that, and that's why we couldn't pull it out. I should remember I do enough of these, but it's like I say, as soon as I've worked on something, I move on to something else and just forget everything else I've done. I'll go and do fixing Game Boy games at night instead. Ooh, birthday. You can't have a JBC for your birthday. I don't have that good of a sponsorship yet. Let's put some things on. What are you doing for? Are you doing anything exciting? Yeah, these irons are crazy. Yeah, I think it's the only iron bar, that and Metcal, that I've never owned, and this is genuinely I think this is like the entry level JBC in a sense, and yet this is just completely dominating every iron I've ever used. Like, just for being the battery powered baby, if you will, of a JBC, this is just insane. The fact it can just pump power. Like, look at that. When I've ever cleaned pads, this is why I say desolder wick never works, and yet this just does. It works on everything. I'm not even used to using it right yet, but that's literally desolder wick all three. So in theory, well, that just, yeah, look at that. I've never done that with desolder wick. It never works, and I'm sure you guys have seen where you'll desolder wick and it'll take off, 80% of the solder, but the problem is it doesn't take it all off, so you still can't remove the component. Whereas that's just massive RF shield. Just desolder wick 3 pads cleanly. And I did one of them with the small, or 2 of them with the small tip. It's just ridiculous. So yeah, could not be more impressed with it, to be honest. And battery life is 90% still, and we've been using it for however long this stream has been going. So I want an excuse to have 2, because I want a dual wield and have 2 tips. But if it lasts for what I need, I technically don't need another. So in one way, I want the battery to run out so I can get another one. See, I don't really do, none of us really do much for birthdays anymore. Like, we'd maybe go out for a meal or just chill, but I don't know, the going out scene's a lot less popular, I feel, as well, isn't it, at the minute? So, oh no, forgetting to cover me nice fancy JBC mat with the silicone. Let me get that down first. There we go. Right, so we have a nice, clean, big space now. This is where we need that tray back. Oh yeah, they have wired equivalents. I think there's quite a lot of them. The one I originally was after was, let me see, JBC. Any of you guys like JBC as well, just go on my website and click the link in the top banner and it'll help me out, because then they'll see that you guys have been aware of JBC from, you know, these streams. It all helps the sponsorship. So I'm just going to go on my site. So if you guys went to, I've put that JBC iron in the way of the PC I've known as well, and I haven't set it up yet for manual. If you come to the website, click this little JBC here, it'll take you to their site, but it then lets them know that you've come from my site. So it all helps out basically. The products, they've got a compact one. So you've got these, and this is, bear in mind, this thing, this B iron, is the equivalent of the C210s. So this is not even used, this isn't even the big tips. Like, I think the C210, is the C210 the smallest? And then the C2445, is it, is the larger? No, I think the smallest is the 110. So this is like the middle, I believe. So, but they do loads of different ones. And you're looking at really the handles for what tips they use. So, and I wanted this, so my micro hot air thing, maybe we can get it in future, but this would be nice. So originally I was like, oh yeah, we could replace everything on my desk, and I think I was after like, probably, I bet it's like heavy duty maybe. Yeah, no, I don't think it was that one. Either way, it was I was trying to replace my entire desk in one go, this stuff. But how powerful this battery one is, I'm kind of enjoying the fact that I've tried out the battery one first, because it's genuinely impressive. So I'd say honestly, anyone, if this works this good, you're not going to go wrong with any JBC you buy at all. They're all going to work like crazy good, clearly. And the one thing I liked as well, I did another ASIC last night, flawless, is, I can probably show you on this if we do a baby side quest as always. It adjusts the power, so if I put the power back on, and it genuinely does work, and it really is something that's really good to see. So if you use a normal iron and put power on, it'll melt the solder, and then it'll just keep pumping power. This has got the massive tip as well, I probably want to change that now. Whereas what this does is it lowers the power as soon as it doesn't need it, so it's never overpowering the pin, if you will. So if I'm holding this, this is the medium one. Let me clean that tip. There we go. So you can see on that graph that I need to try and improve, but the power is the blue, which you can just about see. Definitely need to make that thicker. If I put solder onto, say, this pad, it'll warm up, and then see how it's flowed and bubbled, but the power has kind of dropped, so it's not overpowering. So I can leave that on like that for ages, come off, and it's still a flawless joint. Whereas, you know, if you put any other iron on that I've ever used, if you do this and leave your iron on, it'll just bubble and bubble and bubble, then go dry. And just look, it never, you can even just reflow. Watch, what I found the other day was just reflowing existing joints, as if you don't need flux. So that was a bad example. It didn't kind of show you as nice as I've seen it before. But I went down like just a chip on something, and it just reflowed the pins that were already there nicer. And that's all that kind of the temperature control stuff, where it backs off the temperature as it's going. Alright, so now we need to, I'll epoxy this in while we figure stuff out, so we know where the position is. I probably want to go here. Zoom out probably. Why are you not going down? Oh yeah, it does actually make the soldering a bit more pleasurable, like I say, because it's almost like a, oh, I've got the hook in there. It's more like a bit of a challenge that you want to try and get your solder joints looking cleaner as you're going. So that's there, and then what we want to do is place this on here, upside down, and then if we look in there, look how almost perfectly that aligns. We probably want to lift it up slightly. So we possibly want a little spacer underneath. What have we got? A PCB spacer maybe. Yeah. Let's see if I can cut this donor board. I'm just going to try cut a little rectangle off here to give it a bit of spacing. Sacrilege. There we go. And now we can, and this is why I want to make an actual little PCB. I think somebody already sells something similar where it's like a single piece of PCB there, and then this sits on top, and then you solder everything down. But we should be able to, I'll turn it the right way. I reckon I can get a big fat solder bridge either side of that, so it can basically just sit on top of that, but then once the solder's on, that's just acting as a brace. So something like that. Turn around, and yeah, I could 3D print as well. I definitely want to make a mod. There we go, and that's a much better line now, pretty much perfect. So we want to place that in there. So by eye, that's a good thing. We don't even need that shell now. Because if I look at this now, overhead, when we place this on, it lines up perfectly with that line to be in line with the port. So that can literally sit like that. And all we've got to do is place this little spacer underneath to give it the height, and then get it like that. So we probably want to go slightly forward though, because it wants to be closer to the port, although this, to be in fairness, will go straight through, so we don't really need to stick out much, but we'll go out that little bit, and we will maybe cut this down as well in half so it sits under a bit neater. And then there we go, so that can kind of sit under there as a fiberglass riser, like that. So that will be there. So now all we need to do is pump that power. So we need to definitely swap this for the bigger tip. This is very heavy. I still haven't quite got the knack of that tip swap. So that's the extractor in, and we're going to basically dump a load of heat. So this is about the biggest test, so we want to keep an eye on that power. Let me see on my screen. Dump a load of solder in here. Probably want plenty of flux. Oh, I didn't need it, it's already on. Just instantly gone through and bonded to the board. And we just flood this with solder. We just want absolutely tons. And it's not even struggling, half the power. literally used 50% power and managed to do that. So I'm going to carry on flogging it. I'm going to try and tap the side, but the thing is this is going to move, so I'm going to have to hold it with my hand. So what I'm going to do first is actually turn it on the side, pre-tin this, and this is galvanised, so this will probably take a while and need flux. No, it's already gone through. This is ridiculous. Straight through galv. If you've ever done soldering onto galvanised metal, you'll know how hard that normally is to tin. That's just gone through like I didn't even get a chance to put the flux on. So now with that on, I can turn this. Will the solder be enough to hold the... Oh yeah, it will be. Will when I've put the amount I'm about to put on it, you'll see. Like that's how the ports are normally held in, by just 3 tabs with solder on. And the fact they're going through a hole is the only difference. But yeah, this will be solid. And then we'll also solder the back where the force is going as well. So this will be, we've done this multiple times. We normally just epoxy or something, but yeah, this will be no issues whatsoever. So plenty of solder on. I just want to kind of tack it into position. And we've got a baby tack on there. So now let me see where we're at there with position before we commit to that, and then we can get this right in. Oh, miles away, isn't it? Yeah, we do. We definitely got to come forward. It's absolutely miles away, so we've got to come right forward. So this is maybe why I epoxy it in. Let's see how far forward we need to go. And probably hold it. This needs to literally be... Oh no, we've got plenty. But it does need to be positioned quite far forward there. So let's get some... It's actually better for us because now we've got the back plane we can solder to. So this is actually not a bad thing at all. Yeah, to be honest, the cable will probably still fit, but we want to get this close in. There we go. I think I can probably just go underneath and let the solder flow underneath. The fact that that's just soldering in there is just crazy though. Just holding it on and just like, I've only tacked it, but the fact it's even bonded to it just straight away. And there we go. So, oh, can't focus that high up, but yeah, basically that's centered exactly where we want. So we can take that back out. And now get this really secured in, and this is not going to struggle at all. So we will want to lift it up slightly because it's wanting to tilt, but you can't see that from here, but there's a slight tilt, so I just want to push it down here and warm it back up. There we go, it's now flat. And then this fits under. And of course I haven't quite cut that thin enough. but I can still bridge right over that, I think, no problem. So let's just try and do a big bridge over there next. Now it's all secured and it should be easy to do as well. So if this isn't testing the iron, I don't know what is, because this is literally max power pretty much for a battery drain and it's still at 90%. Yeah, it's like you're soldering just to a thin piece of wire. Just absolutely no problem whatsoever. Let's put a sponge under that so you can see. And then what we're going to do is now make a massive bridge. Biggest problem I've got is just feeding enough soldering. I don't think if you drop it, it does. But the other thing is, if you're not pointing it on anything, so see how I'm not pointing it on anything, that's going to be hot, but it's not going to be 300 degrees. Actually, it is 300 degrees, just not pumping power. But if you've got an idle, if you rest it on the desk, it turns itself off after whatever time you set it to turn itself off. And that cap thing goes on about, it's just a protective cap, so that must be the document that said something about charge. I think that's just a bad translation. So the cap's mainly so if you're taking it about, you can take it with you without having to take the tip off or damaging the tip. Yeah, so just look at this for feeding in solder. This is just insane. So that is, it's like welding nearly. That's a rock solid joint there. And we'll come around here and do the same. So this definitely won't be this won't be coming off. There we go. Flux for the sake of it, even though it's clearly not been needed. You know what I'm going to do, because the biggest issue is feeding enough soldering. I'm going to roll up a bunch of this solder. Zoom out a bit. Just going to get tons of this solder. Snapped it off already. And twist it up and have one big fat huge solder wire, because that's the only thing I'm struggling with, is feeding enough solder in. So now we've got a big stick of solder. So let's get this fed in. Yes, there we go. Got to be the most overpowered battery iron I've ever seen. There you go, absolute and utter beast. It's literally joined itself around. That is not coming off. And that is, yeah, that's way too easy. Now we just got to fix that nice little dry joint there where we started. That was just a tack joint, so now we can fix that up. But yeah, this is, like, you don't even need anything more powerful for anything. That's literally done whatever it needed to do. Like, I don't solder anything that needs more heat than this. There we go. Absolutely effortless. I mean, that did smash the battery as we'd expect. That's down to 70 now. That's like used probably, I don't know, from when we started. I think we're on like 89 or something, weren't we, in the 80s? So it's used like 10-12%, but that was crazy. Like, you don't do that very often. So that's the port on. Which now we can solder wires to. So yeah, if you had concerns of that coming off, that is not going anywhere. And that's what's next. Right, so we need to tap off this thing here, which will be the video chip, and I'm just going to use a Mega Drive, 2 clean RGB, just because this is the most compact, simple board to use, and we'll just have to change resistors again. So we just want the board out. We've got all this room now because nothing's going here, so I'm just going to stick him right down on here. I could use these baby wires as well that come with it. I can probably use them. No, I can't quite use them all. I can use the red, green, blue and sync input maybe. Or we can use all our own. So I'll just use the part of the kit and stick it close to here maybe. Inputs are this side, so if I stick it that way with the inputs close, something like that will do me, and we'll see if the wires reach. And then we have the MB3514, I believe is no different than the CXA. I think most of these chips, I'll double check, but actually clean this desk a minute. Got a bit of flux on me nice. New mat. I think most of the chips have the same pinouts. I could be wrong though, so I'll double check. There we go. This is actually quite a cool thing. We'll have a mat and then just a cut up bit of silicone that you work on. So you can just spray your separate baby silicone mat and clean him and swap him out instead of like damaging your main mat. I think it's quite a good idea. Right, so we need to look at MB, let's turn him around. MB3514. Yeah, so same pinout as the CXA chips, so I should know this top of my head now, but this will be red, green and blue in here, so we want to tap off them. Red, green and blue out are going nowhere, so they can go to our port. Sync is the third one up here, which is sync in, and audio is here, which is audio out and audio in, so I'll probably tap off the audio out there, I'm going to guess. But I think last time I remember doing it, I'm sure I tapped audio off one of these resistors. So we might check the schematic after, but off the top of my head when I do the mods, I'm sure I tap audio from somewhere down here. Now whether that's any different than the audio mix out here, but we'll try it anyway when we get to it. And I think that's it. I think that's all we need. And sync will just obviously come from here to the port, so yeah, I don't really need a document for that. So yeah, the iron's back up to 89% already. This is literally just going to last permanent, I think. So let's get these wires on. Red, green, blue. Oh, and 5 volt and ground. I always forget. But if I forget, I can look at my chip. So I've put them in order. So I've put ground below blue. So that means this will be 5 volt here, because it comes after the blue. and the ground will be the top. So this will be ground, this will be 5 volts, which this will obviously be 5 volts here. Yeah, so we've got everything we need. Let's get to some soldering. Check out the massive tip, go back to a small one. See, this is me other excuse for wanting another iron, so I don't have to swap tips. Like, 'cause this is quite common to swap between them 2 tips now, because I like the fine tip. So if I had 2 irons, I'd save time. And then if I ever risked running out of battery, you can almost guarantee you wouldn't, because you've got 2 irons. But this is literally, well, you've seen it live so far. This is I think when I used it yesterday, it was fresh out the box, not charged, and I think the charge wasn't even accurate when it was charging. The charge values were all over the place, and I thought something was up at first. It was like, it went all the way up to 48%, then sat there for like an hour, and then it carried on charging. So I think it was like probably almost completely flat, but the battery voltage was spiking a lot, so that's why it looked like it didn't last much on the first day. Right, so we've got red, green and blue in, which is, red is there, green, blue, C-Sync is there, and what did I say audio was? The one above it, yeah. It's that. 5 volts is the one below it. Done. And then we want to see what wires we can get out of this kit I've got. So obviously this is a kit for a different, yeah, these aren't going to be long enough. So I'll just use my wire kit, 30 American wire gauge wire kit that I've now sold quite a few of. Now I've actually got a picture of them on the site. So let's turn that off a minute, let's do some prep work. So we've got these wires, we're going to use a stripping tool, we're going to use cutters, and then red, roughly, don't know, about there should be plenty. We have red is going in, I'm going to come down here and wrap around, so about there is fine. The red out isn't quite long enough, so I've wasted a little bit of wire. Yeah, I found that that scope I was on about, I forgot to Eddie Vision engineering scope. I actually found a video of somebody selling one on eBay that showed you looking through it, and it was, to be honest, quite nice. It looked like a giant, I should have saved the video. It's just like as if you're looking into it, you've got a huge viewport as opposed to putting your eyes close to. But I've also been looking at Leica. You know that thing I was on about with this not being very good. This like, you can't see it here, but I can zoom out anymore. No, you can't. This on top of the camera. Oh, top view. I keep forgetting I've got this camera. So the reason these are bad going down through the scope is because they are, I forget how you pronounce them, like Greenborough or Greenbow or something like that. The name of basically 2 optics coming diagonally into, so your eyes are looking diagonally like this. So one of them cameras, the HDMI, is basically on a tilt, and you're looking at the board on a tilt, and that's why it's kind of blurry. So when I said I'd done a load of research before, I should probably work while I'm talking as well. And I was trying to figure out what it was and why it was, and I even stripped that microscope down fully. And I was like, oh, it's tilted, and I tried to tilt it level, and then realised that was by design, and then I messed up the scope and had to readjust it all. It's actually a perfect length. I looked up again last night, and it's called, I forgot again, compound main objective, common something objective, CMO lenses basically. And Leica do one called the M50 and the M80, and you basically have, I think I explained it before, just one giant optic in the center. So it's a really flat plane, and when you're looking through, everything's completely, is it orthogonal? I don't know if that's the right word. But basically everything's on a completely flat plane, which means the HDMI capture would be amazing. But my only concern was if you're going to lose depth perception, because the depth is kind of formed by the fact that you're looking through the lens with slight angles and your eyes adjust and stuff. So I'm slightly concerned you might lose depth of field, but considering now I soldered most of my stuff without any, I've dropped that, without any depth of field anyway, looking at a flat screen, I'm pretty sure I'd be okay with it. If the quality of the HDMI is better, because at the minute trying to work looking at a screen is, well, you've seen how messy my soldering looks, I really want to be looking through a scope. Like when I'm not on stream, I look through the scope straight away, and it's so much easier. Oh, I think I've measured this blue wrong as well. Just realised where the blue is. Oh no, it isn't. It's fine. Yeah, so basically I want to be working through the scope. I just enjoy it more because you can have more control and you can make your connections look cleaner and stuff. But for streaming, you really need to be, like, you guys need to see stuff. So yeah, I want to get a Leica M80, but I think they're like six or 7 grand plus tax, which is a little bit much when I've already just spent more money on HDMI capture for this one. But yeah, if I could get that, that'd be ace. Sync will do yellow, which has got to go quite far, so let's cut that long for now. And then sync will go on there, down, around, and up, so about there. Plenty of room. And yeah, the Zion's nearly fully charged already as well from just stripping a few wires. It's crazy how quick you get used to a new iron though. Like, I was pretty bad at it on the first video, and I'm already like kind of used to it already. So we're going to try and make these wires kind of neatish. Wow, I love how I overcompensated that. Massive. Suppose it's better being too long than too short though. Let's put that back on. Probably bend these into position and find the wall miles out. Come on, get in. There we go. Go down, around, up. Yeah, have you seen that guy that makes crazy, nice looking, perfectly angled wires, and he spends hours and hours just making it look like a work of art? Like, I'd do that if somebody wanted to pay me for it, but yeah, look at that. That's, I mean, you guys have seen me soldering. Look how clean that is. It's not just me. This iron definitely makes you look like you're better than you are at soldering. Like, I can fix stuff, yeah. Soldering, I've never really cared about it being ridiculously clean, but just look at that joint. It's like, that's perfect. That's just so good. Simple things. Let's go down, around, and up. Yeah, that one's sized okay. I do definitely like these coloured wires though. I obviously use enamel all the time just because lots of wires can be very small and out of the way, but I do like seeing the colour. It's kind of nice. So bend that in. Yep, bang on solid. One. And then that curls over. So I think this one will be tight in. Thanks for the like. I think we're slow. I think if I do more streams as well, it's finding the time to do them. We've been slammed since Christmas, but we like seeing absolutely no growth really on the streams. It went really good at the start, and then I think I just got busy. And I think it, like anything, if you're not constantly on it, you just stopped getting pushed by the algorithms and stuff. So we literally got like them 57 subs before Christmas, and then we've been there since then. Like, never even got any new ones really at all. But it's likely because, like I say, I'm probably not on it enough. I was getting up at like 3 in the morning and doing a stream, and then 4 at night, but then every other part of my business has got busy, and it definitely takes me longer to work on stream than it does off stream. Yeah, look at that, nice. 5 volts. Oh yeah, honestly, the irons are wicked. The one thing we haven't got yet, like I say, we're sponsored by them, but we haven't got any kind of form of discount yet. I'd love to be able to say if that's like the perfect way to prove that you're pushing sales, if you can get people to buy them with a discount. But if you're ever thinking of one, just let me know first, and I'll try and get something sorted when you've got, you know, potentially enough funds. Ground and 5 volts. So, oh, ground is over that side. I'll probably have to check where ground is. Well, actually, if ground pad is there, we could go to maybe up. I might just, yeah, I don't know where pick ground off from. We'll come to that after. We'll just do 5 volts from this side then. So 5 volts is going to go down to there. Or do we find a nicer point for 5 volts? Probably find somewhere else that's a bit closer than cutting through, maybe. So this is 5 volts here. Maybe one on this side as well. It's 5 volts there. We can pick up in between them 2 traces. And ground, is that going to be top? Yeah, so that's definitely ground. And then this one is, yeah, 5 volts. That's a bit cleaner. So we'll pick them 2 up. 5 volts I use orange for. So that'll be about that long. Are you soldering anything at the minute?
Oh, no. Why what you
think? Say try that. See what you think of that, for example. Like compared to yours. Like, you probably have to find a way to hold it, but I just think it's crazy good.
What do you hold it by? Just here?
I just hold it up there already. I think you meant hold it closer, but the only thing I've noticed is you have to put your, like I wasn't putting the soldering iron like down in the pad sort of thing. I was like more upright than flat. And you have to make sure basically your things are touching.
Yeah, it seems pretty good to be fair.
Try it on like little pins. Like say them chips, like if you're gonna just reflow them on it. And then like leave it on and see how it kind of flows on the pins. I just think there's something different about it. It just seems it's like definitely to me, like I don't know, flows the pins better than the other irons.
Just yeah, I think it's just a lot accurate.
Yeah, it's like pumping the heat, but like to where it needs to go, isn't it, versus all over. And I just like the fact it's like handheld as well.
It's a little fat.
Yeah.
Do you find it or not?
I do at first, but then you get used to it. But they do a thin one as well. They do a nano.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, which is really thin. But no, the more I'm using it, the more I like it.
Yeah. That tip's so good. It's tiny, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I've seen that what I've just done with it. It's ridiculous. It's like welding it onto the board, you know, or just like tin the metals.
Even with that tip?
Yeah, that tip has done that. It's absolutely nuts. The only thing I can hear it charging though. It's got like it's not that bad, but it does like a little squeak like a mouse every few seconds. Like that you can just about hear. Solder this bit on. No worries. Look at that, starting to look nice, colourful. We've sold, like I say, quite a few of these wire kits now. I brought them, I think at Dubai. I think I said before, I've had to buy like 100 lots of these because the factory that make the wire, we have to buy like a huge amount. We have to buy like 10,000 meters. So these have got like 100 meters each. I have to buy loads, have the boxes made. But as soon as I actually put the picture online, instead of it just being no picture, we've sold quite a few. So hopefully we'll sell the batch. Right, so we've got sync output. So these are all outputs now, bar ground. One thing we don't want to forget though is, yeah, I almost want like a little banner as well. Like, I know it's a stream with loads of stuff on, but just a little banner that pops down from the top every now and then, just saying like, you know, buy most of the stuff you see on Retro 6 or something, like a little mini banner that just every half hour just ticks once to gently show it, so I don't have to remember do the salesman crap. We've got to remember put 5 volts and ground on here as well. That's what I sometimes forget. Yeah. Oh, what was that mug you mentioned as well? I need to go buy that mug. I forgot all about it. Was it like a heated mug? Because I'll buy one now before I forget. And I'm hoping they've got them on Amazon maybe. Ember mug. That was it. Ember mug. I can't. I'm on stream at the minute. Unless I'll be about 40 minutes probably. Hey? Oh, yeah. Nah, too late then. Too late. Amazon, yeah, there we go. Oh, they do a takeaway mug as well. Yeah, the wire kit will be on the US store probably in 2 days. We shipped it yesterday, I think we did. Yeah, I'm liking the look of that Ember flask, because then I can take it on walks and that. I might get that. £170. Rechargeable insulated coffee cup. Ember mug 2, is that the newest one? Oh yeah, car as well, never thought of that. Now, white or black. Does the white stain, do you reckon? I don't know whether to go with white or black in case the white ends up with stains on. I'm going to go ground to there. Actually, is that ground? Oh, it's not ground. It's not ground. No, I'm a ground. Well, I'll just go to the shield ground. White will stain. I am tempted by the white, it looks nicer. But I definitely won't be rinsing the mug. I'll be sitting here while it's gone cold for an hour before I rinse mine. Gold, brass, I can only see white and black on the... Oh, I don't know, I might have to go with white. No, I'm going to go with white, it looks nicer. Oh, see buying options. I want to buy now. There we go. Ember. White. Add. Do I need a charge pad or does it come with it? Nice. Receipt to check out. Nothing in basket. Stupid Amazon. It's literally there. Receipt to basket. Nothing else. Oh, it's trying to upsell me stuff, that's why. There we go. Next. Place order. Done. Where's my wire gone? I didn't cut it. Yeah, if it's good, I'll probably buy the travel one. So don't let me forget to solder 5 volt and ground to these pads if I forget. Hopefully shouldn't. This I'm going to go over to here. So actually, oh, there's a point. I hope that's on. We'll figure that out after. I might have to thin that bit up. I'll tell you what, I know what I'm going to do. Let's test this new grinder out. So let's give this a go. Still haven't used it. I want to go right here for ground. Why not? Yay, a grinder that works. It's got a little light on as well. It's quite cool. And the little charge stand, so just put it on the monitor. Yeah, look at that, straight through to the ground plane. It is crazy, this iron. Now that's quite short for stripping, that's going to be difficult. Oh, nice. Now I'll wait. Yeah, because I still want the other mug. I was just going to think, do you just keep the travel mug as your main one? But no, I'll get the little one as well. I'll split it over a few days so I don't notice the money coming out. This one I'm going to have to put on there. And then it's too short for the wire strippers, so I'm going to just melt it with the iron. This will be interesting because it's quite difficult to melt this insulation because it's obviously high quality, high temperature insulation. There we go, no trouble. Just pulled it back just enough as well. And that little curl where the bubble is just because the wire's insulation is sticking in the dot. Nice. Yeah, like again, accuracy of that, just little dot and then a blob. Like it looks like you've got a veer there. So we've got sync. So now it's onto the connector. So I'm actually going to do. Will I just chuck the black wire away? I cut a huge strip of black wire off. Must have lobbed it. Yep, got some more wire ground. So now we need, let's hide that a minute. I think we're happy with the temps now, so I'll hide that. What was I going to do? Oh yeah, get the wiki up. PC. I've got to even put it on the wiki. So click this check me out button. Put it everywhere. Look at the wiki as well. 569 people have signed up and 214 online right now. Let's go to master system. I'll finally rename these as well. This was a pet peeve for ages. We had master system written as master system, but we had Sega Mega Drive, so now I've finally renamed it to Sega Master System. AV pinouts the same on, well, actually, what am I doing? It's not a Master System. I'm putting on a Mega Drive 2 AV port, so we need that. So this is the connector. Mouse, go to here and here. This is the connector this way, so we're looking through the board. So that's the ideal view. Let's put ground on first because I know I'm going to forget, which actually ground's on because on the Master System Mega Drive 2, the ground is the actual cage. So this bit here is this cage, so it's naturally got ground from doing that. So we don't need ground, we just need to wire, say, green on here. Actually, I should prep all the wires again because I haven't got the wires ready. So green's pretty close. Actually, I'm going to kind of tack the wires on as I go. I've noticed as well sometimes when you put the iron in the stand, because it's a charger, if you touch it by mistake, you get a little arc as well. I think it starts to charge and you haven't quite secured it like nicely in the cradle. That can go down. Actually, that length is probably all right. Just going to do red, green, and blue the same length, which that nearly is. Yeah, definitely. I think I was going to contact them last night about the charge. I thought if that doesn't charge, we're in big trouble. But like I said, I think that was just the first charge because it shipped with storage mode on, and the battery percentage was just all over the place. But today it's awfully stable and solid. And if we put it back up a minute, it's at 98% now. And it seems consistent, so it lasts a lot longer than I thought it did, because yesterday's voltage was literally, like I say, absolutely all over the place. It wasn't consistent, but that was definitely just it'll be when a battery's almost totally flat and you first charge it, the voltage spikes quite a lot, quite fast. So it's obviously sorted itself out there, and I've had no other issues so far. But that the little spark was quite funny, but I don't know if there's something they can do about that, because it's pretty much what it does. It tries to charge when you're connected, other than maybe a delay, like a bit longer delay between starting to charge from detecting it being in, because if while you're sitting it in the cradle, it might be slightly short before it starts fully charging. But it's only happened the once. It's when it's been on charge since yesterday, and then it was like my first use it and put it back in that's the time, and it literally did like a little orange arc, but it's never done it since. And it obviously has no problem because it's like perfectly fine working. Blue is over here. Yeah, the other benefit of the coloured wire is you can quite easily see then, as you're working, distinctively which wires are going where, versus the enamel you kind of can't see where they are. So like now I'm doing this and I can very clearly see I've got red, green and blue, and they match the picture. So C-Sync, we want yellow, which is about the same size. Come on, little grippers. Actually grip. I think my little gripper had slid from where it was at. I had to adjust it. That's it. What else have we got? Audio left, audio right, audio mono. I think the master system is mono, isn't it? Let's check schematics. Master system. Don't even know if I've got the schematic for the 2, but still. Oh yes, it's like literally great to just do that. Like that's the biggest benefit straight away, not tugging the cord, catching on this arm here all the time. It's like the first thing I noticed. It was weird at first. I kept like going to pull because there was no cord, but now I'm already used to it. It's way better. I like it. That's why I don't want to go to a wide now if I can help it. Audio. Let's have a look. Oh, I haven't got the PC on screen. Well, do that. There you go. So we have audio in is a single audio pin. So I'm guessing it's going to be on the other schematic. These are really bad schematics. I'm guessing audio is just going to come out of one of these chips, that's a guess. Warranty, good question. I'd have to ask them. I recommend it's at least 12 months, if not longer. I'd probably say 24 months. And I'm guessing you can get extended warranty and stuff. But I'll ask them on next time I email them. I'll get some info. Yeah, so we've got a single audio pin here. So it's mono audio. So what we can do is, for most compatibility, I'll wire mono, left and right all together. So all them three. And then join it to the audio out pin of the chip. So what we can do is actually it'll just be one big long wire. Audio, I'm going to do purple. I think we've ever done, or like lilac for audio. So nice long one. And strip quite a bit off so we can join the three. And then what I'm going to do is, let's see, turn this maybe this way. Solder in there, there, there. And I could bend legs, but instead I'm going to just keep angling this board wrong. I'm going to just attach the wire and do that on one, maybe a bit longer, and this on another. And then, of course, I haven't stripped the wire long enough, so I'm going to take that off and strip it a bit longer. Try that again. So, that on there, that on there, and then this just makes everything look dead easy. This does. And we can wrap that around there and pull it this way, like so, and get a nice anchor on there. Done. And now that's joined to all three. We can come down. We've got to go all the way over to this chip. So I'll come down here and then across here. Made this just long enough as well. Down. Across, and then you watch, this will be the long pin anyway. Audio out was, I think, pretty sure that fourth pin up. I think if anyone can remember, if not, I can always check it. Yeah, we'll find out when we turn it on if there's no audio, but I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, they're just looking crazy, these are. Just every little joint looks perfect. And the good thing is this wire is kind of firm enough to stay where you place it as well without needing to use any of the like resin and stuff. This goes down to sync. Oh, that could probably have been, could make that longer, but it'll do. That might bug me though, once I see the rest of it done. I don't know, these might look good being like a natural sweep versus down and over, but we'll see. Yeah, I think they're going to look alright. Just sort of a natural curve. One thing I try not to do too much of is go too far into the aesthetics of the wiring, just because time is money. You know, we're not trying to win competitions on the visuals. It's just you want to kind of make it look nice, but I think that looks nice enough. You know, pretty clean. I've seen much worse, put it that way. Right, so we have audio. We just got 5 volts left. Yeah, that's 7 years on a solder joint on a cap to make it perfectly spherically round under a scanning electron microscope. And then that is now 5 volts, which is orange. And where did we say we were going to pick 5 volts up from? Oh, this. Oh, I've already done 5. Oh no, 5 volts to there. So from that now, I might just tack it onto there. I think I will. And then we've still got to tune this though. So we'll try it just out of curiosity. But this is not tuned in any way for Master System, and I can't imagine it being the same as Mega Drive 2, but we'll still try just to see, and then we'll get the scope out to perfect it. I mean, I could actually tell you straight away if it's going to be the same on the DC offset, because I think the DC offset on Mega Drive 2 is 2.5 volts. DC offset on Mega Drive 1 is 2 volts. And then we'll see what the offset on this is. If this is not got an offset, then we just remove 3 resistors, which is even quicker. Whereas if it's anything different, we've just got to tune that. So I don't think the offset's going to be difficult. It might even be already the same, but now this is going to be interesting because that wire is going to ping off. Can even do that. Like, that's because it's so controlled on the temperature to be able to melt the top without melting the bottom. I think that's it then. I think that's all the wiring done. And then obviously when I make a dedicated mod, this would be a 5-minute job. These are the problem with the clean RGBs is I haven't made it specific for the boards. They take forever with all the cutting of these wires to length and stuff. Right, so let's power this up on the scope now. And let's see what we get. So we don't need that now, I don't think. Let's get maybe. Now this should boot up with a. I'm pretty sure all the Master System 2s had a built-in ROM, I think. I don't think there's anyone that didn't. Need a ground wire. Yeah, that'll be. Ideally, I'll get one for free. You'd like to think. I've lost my ground wires. Get some of this. No, I think it's definitely a nice iron. I think it's maybe trying the thin ones as well. Like I've seen they do a nano version, which I don't think the nano is going to have the power though. to do like what we've just done on that port, because the Nano is really small. But it'd be cool to do most of the work with that maybe, and then swap irons if you needed. Like you could have a Nano as one and just the bigger one as your second iron. And you could always bounce between the two. I think that would be ideal. And you've got a really nice light iron for most of your work, which, to be honest, a lot of our work is small. That might be, yeah, it's not a bad idea. How much does the Nano cost? Because I'm wondering if that's any. I bet it's probably not any cheaper, to be honest. It's probably just obviously still the same quality iron, just designed for finer pitch. It's probably going to be the same price, I'd say. Port and big. Ground plane. Yeah. That's the small tip doing the ground plane as well. I actually brought it for, I don't know why I brought it. Oh, I saw one last year. I kept wanting like a desktop one so I could do exactly this. So we just turn on and show you. But the only scope I've ever known to visually show stuff like how I visualize the signals is Picoscope, where they just show you a single signal, not overlaid with any other crap. Whereas even this one does, but I think you can turn it off. So see how you've got multiple lines? Like there isn't 4 signals there, there's 1. I don't want to see multiple signals, but I'm sure this is why I brought this one. I think in the settings somewhere, you can turn that off, which is, I've got loads of expensive scopes and none of them do it. And the like the faded overlay is meant to be the thing you want, but to me, I personally hate it. I can't stand overlaid images. I just want to see a single line so I know what I'm looking at. So that's why I brought this one, because I'm sure it does it. And it's obviously sitting on the desk, which is convenient, but you can tell how much I use it, so I can't even figure out what to do. And the battery's nearly flat as well, I should probably charge him. But it is that thing there, DPO S350P. It's even got lighting. It's got some bling. I'm sure it's got it somewhere. There, waveform light, that's it. So I do that and then turn that down, turn that up. Or no, or do you have to do that and come out of it? No, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe when I capture, turn that all the way down. I'm sure it did it when I got it. So let's plug that in. We want to get a trigger, drag up to about there. I'm gonna have to nick this USB to power this. And power switch is already on, so flick on and off. And then if we check on the RGB in, apparently nothing. So maybe this doesn't have a built-in ROM. I thought they all had built-in ROMs. I'm going to try and keep charging this while we're doing it. Master system game. We don't have a master system game, do we? That'll be able to open it anywhere. See, I could have sworn they did, but maybe not. Well, I hope not, otherwise we've got no signal. Actually, if you bridged, yeah, that's fine. Probe on that, turn on. Nothing. New sync signal, have we got 5 volts? Oh, so that's turns out the on switch on the Mega Drives, the Master System's the opposite way. So that's on. There we go. Just have to learn how to use the scope. So there's the signal, and we have an offset of, where's my voltage thing? I should have just used the picoscope. 2 volts. So I'm presuming there's 1 volt. That'll be the 2 volt line. So we've got a offset of 2, which is the same as the Mega Drive 1. So it's going to be the exact same values as the Mega Drive 1s. I don't suppose you've still got that anywhere, have you? That picture. Did you send it on Signal or Discord? Because that's what we basically need. Bad looks of it, I'm going to guess this is exactly the same RGB as the Mega Drive 1. So that kind of helps us out. But it should actually mean that we see something still on here as well. So if we plug this in, we should see just a dark image, but the actual image should be there. So let's see if we do first. And then it should just be changing the resistors to the same ones, hopefully. See, this will now be upside down as well because the ports are upside down, which doesn't really help because I don't know which way is up. Yeah, there we go. This is still on, so now tap there. Hey, there you go. So that's Wonder Boy 3. Obviously, that's not the built-in one, and we have tiny bit of jail bars. We can probably fix them as well. But yeah, you've got the colour being dark. This is almost definitely going to be the same as the Mega Drive 1 tweaks we've got to do. So let's see what game's built in. Sonic or Alex Kidd is probably what it's going to. I hope it's Sonic. That's better than Alex Kidd. Or maybe nothing. Oh yeah, we got some Sonic, yes. 50 Hertz Sonic. My poor Master System controller, no cover thing. I've got a new printer that can make UV stickers, they're called, but like they look like gel stickers. I haven't even set it up yet. I've had it for like probably a month now, and I still haven't set it up. But I'm going to make one that it sits over there. So let's just quickly test this, and then all we've got to do is change them values, and we're good to go. Oh god, this is slow. 50 Hertz is slow as. I'm sure this is slower than the 50 Hertz on the Game Gear. This definitely feels way slower. Oh, I'm gonna end up pulling. What's this down arrow do as well? See that down box I just destroyed on Sonic? I never know what that actually does. Or if it just does nothing. No, this is genuine bad, just the things fell off. The plastic. Yeah, that's definitely slower than Mega Drive, surely. Right, let's get the brightness fixed. So that can go off a minute. This can go over, and we'll take this off. Yeah, so we even put the ground plane wire on with this tiny tip. It's like no problem at all. And then we have to hunt for that resistor value. And this is definitely going to be a hot air jobby with all them being next to each other. And I always get this wrong. The amount of times I swap these resistors and swap the wrong ones. Where am I? There. See if I can find that image. Discord messages. Of course, it's not in Discord. Was it in Signal? No, I'm sure he sent me that. Or did you send me a text with the values in? Not an image. Every time I do this mod, I say I'm going to write down the values and then I can't find them. No, it's definitely not there. Yeah, remember we did the Mega Drive 1 RGB? And I changed 6 of these resistors and I did a screenshot. Can't find any of it. Can't find the screenshots, can't find the values. Ah, there we go. The scrolled up and up maybe. Text message. DC offsets 2.4K. Yeah, there we go. So I think I did a photo and then I've lost my photo. But I don't need the photo. I can open keycard again. Just get the actual positions. But I thought I wouldn't it on an image yet. Open. Well, where's opening keycard? GitHub, Mega Drive, 2 clean RGB, PCB. So the offset resistors is that 2.7. So we have 1, 2, 3. That's RG and B. So we need to take off. Where are we? Third one up. Just this one. This one. And then fourth one down. And then second one there from the little tiny gap. And then let's replace them first with a 2.4K. And actually, let's put a little bit of solder on them first. This will be the factory's lead-free solder. I'll touch that up with the iron that side. So that's one benefit of the cordless iron as well. I can just like swap that. So when I'm trying to solder either side here, I normally have to rotate the board because the soldering iron's wire would have got in the way. This is what I was meaning about reflowing existing pins as well. Just how much nicer it makes the joints that the factory already did. And then now the other ones are 1K, I think it was. And, oh, 11K. Now I'm going to pretty much presume. Tell you what, shall we look at that? Because I'm presuming the gain is going to be the same, and it might be completely different. You'd almost guarantee if they've got the Master System, they've got the same DC offset as the Mega Drive, I'm going to guess. Considering this is the Master System 2 and the Mega Drive was out after it, I'm going to say they didn't change the RGB and it's going to be the same, so I bet this will need the same gain. So this should now look more full but still dark, I'm going to say. Yeah, so we've got the full range there, and we're going to need I reckon, that same gain, and then we should be good. So that'll make it the same as the Mega Drive one, if so. So let's make that presumption. And let's do 11K on the output gains, which is, see now, 11K isn't that much of a difference, and that looked quite a big difference, but we'll do it anyway first and see. Or do we change one? No, we should probably change one. Yeah, let's change one in case it needs to go higher. There's no point in doing all three if it's not going to be the right one. Oh yeah, I say constantly I will make these dedicated ones, but at the minute we're selling more of them now, so like I'm having to build these all up one at a time, which takes ages, like you've seen. Whereas if I could literally spend this amount of time now making the next mod, and I'd have it ready for production instead of just installing the next one. And they're actually getting more popular at the minute, which is good. So I should really make one like this. I don't know, Mega Drive one is the quickest one to remake, and then they can all kind of follow. I'm just thinking this format with pre-cut wires. Like this board then it already works. You just change the values, get it coming with pre-measured wires of the right size. And that's it, we're good to go. So I'm thinking of doing that. I could always then make it like, flex ribbons and things after, but the only thing with the Master System 2 is I'd like to make this port something that it comes with already, like a little carrier PCB at the bottom, so you solder. You don't need to chop up a random circuit board like I did. So that'll take a little bit more time, but not much. So that's 11K on there, so now we need the scope to, I've taken the wire off as well. We need the scope to really check what voltage we're at, if we're at the right place. No, unless you're using the clean RGB universal and tuning it yourself. The whole point of the pre-made ones is that all this is done for you, so you just literally solder it in, solder the wires and turn it on, and it's good. This is just because obviously this isn't the right one. I haven't made this for the Master System. Right, so we need to move that away. That on there, we can still see stuff on screen, which actually, yeah, we can still plug this in. Which goes in there. Like that. Ooh, thanks for the sub. What do we need to do now? I just need to probe the output on the resistor before So we changed. Which one did we change? Blue, because last time I was measuring the wrong one. So blue output is second resistor up. I need to measure. So we need that resistor there on this side, and we need to turn on, and we need to plug power in as well as turning on. So second resistor up, turn on, and am I on the right one here? Second resistor up, blue out. So the DC offset hasn't done the job. Have I swapped the wrong things again? There's my trigger value. Why do I not have... Here's a Y. Let me find out what it is. V1. Yeah, it says 2 volt offset. So why is my... offset nowhere near? Should be like 0.2. Just remove nowhere near enough of the offset, which it should have. But then the voltage out is pure blue there, roughly. So we've got 1.25, so we still need slightly more gain, because that should be 1.4. Yes, that should be 1.4, but the offset's miles off, so we need to... That's weird, because it must have a stronger drive, so even though it's the same... Actually, that gain might not need change. Let's just change the DC offset first. Yeah, even though it's got the same offset as the Mega Drive, the offset must be stronger, so it's not pulling it down, which is a bit strange. So let's do the blue first on its own. And it was 2.4, so third up, 2.4. Let's change him to 2. And we don't need to redo the solder because it's already lead free now, so this will be nice and quick. Could just be these resistors aren't very accurate as well, because they're just a basic resistor book. So that comes off. 2K going down. That'll be there. And this is blue. So, that out again. That in there. And the blue is second up there. So, if we turn on, I swear this resets every time it does, doesn't it? So we've still got a 1 volt offset. That's more of an offset. What are we doing wrong? That's like literally more of an offset than it had. Plug it in anyway. Or am I just doing the resistor the wrong way? So the blue's obviously more powered because it has 1 volt offset versus, let's check the green out for example, which is the old value. Let's see the difference. Third one up. Yeah, I've got the values back. Hang on. Green's perfect. Green's exactly where it should have been. I wonder if we just had a bad resistor then, because that makes a lot more sense. Because green has still got the other resistor on and it's fine. Let me try red. Red out, fourth one up. See, nah, something's weird. Have I changed the wrong resistors again? Red's miles off. Green is perfect. Blue is miles off. Something's weird. What is going on? Red, green, blue. Second up, I definitely swap that one. Third down, I swap that. Third up, I swap that. So why have we got 3 different values? We probably need a 240p test suite. To see this properly. Something's weird. So, what are we seeing? Blue is here, and we are seeing an offset of 1 volt with a gain of 1.15 roughly, so the gain needs to go up slightly. Yeah, I just need to make the mod instead of doing it every single time I come to do this mod and figuring it out as I go. So the blue had the DC offset lowered even more, but the DC offset's way bigger, which makes no sense. I just think this resistor book's full of random resistors sometimes, and you can pull them out and it's just a totally different resistor than what you should have. The green you see is nearly perfect if it isn't already. So it's got a 0.1 volt offset, which is exactly what you want, and a trigger value of something else. I didn't even see what popped up then on the thing. Was that a like or a sub? Third one up. Is 1.3 volts. So the gain is pretty much perfect, which when we lower it to that value it would be fine. And then the fourth up is way off, which is no red. So something's definitely, I think those resistors were right, it's just the book's wrong. So I'm gonna leave it on, to be honest. Leave it turned on and do it live. So the first thing is, green is pretty much perfect. So let's leave green. Blue seems like it's gone way off, which doesn't fully make sense because we've changed the resistor. Remove DC offset. So if we lowered that, it lowers more. Yeah, so that doesn't make sense. Third one up. Let's take it off and just put it back on again, I reckon. So probably let's put on 2.4 again and see if it really is 2.4. Ooh, another sub, thank you. Make sure this is definitely 2.4. Let's just leave it on while we do this, and it's the third one off. All the things they'll say never to do on a circuit. Powered on, live, hot airing it off. Once that's gone, blue's working, red's missing completely, which maybe the wire's just come off. Yes, it has. So the red one's easily explained. There we go, nearly. So now the only difference is blue's slightly more gained. That's why the white is slightly off. So let's see what the scope's telling us now. I just think we had a bad resistor on that. So the blue now. No, so the blue's definitely different, but yet visually on there, it's fine. Oh, that's weird. That's feedback from the monitor. So I unplug that. Oh, what the? That is weird. I can't even explain that to you, but the blue is fine when you probe it after, when it's terminated for the 0.7. But before the blue, we're getting an I genuinely can't explain why that's even. That should be showing the right voltage, but on the output after termination it is. So we've got some kind of funky feedback. So let's ignore it then. Let's measure that on terminated. So this now should be 0.7 volts gain. That's just how we're going to work it this way. Oh, this is not very accurate. There we go, 0.8, that's perfect. So you've got a slight 0.1 overvolt, which is fine for brightness. Why is this? I think this probe's just cheap. Now we've got the offset again. I don't trust this probe. I think this probe's lying to me. I think that's the bigger problem we've got. Let's go off our eyes. Let's go on to Sonic. We haven't done the gains yet on the outputs, but I think we need just to do the gains. I don't know, it's something's weird because you clearly are dark there. So we can probe on that. We've got the perfect gain, but too much DC offset on the blue. And we've definitely got the right values. The green is correct, and then on there it looks almost right, as if we do just need that slight gain. Yeah, so the green is perfect. The red has got another DC offset and is off, but clearly can't be because on screen it isn't. So this is not picking up the true signals because I think we're going to have to go to the picoscope because that doesn't make any sense. What we're seeing on screen doesn't match what you're seeing on the scope. It wouldn't look like that if it was like based on what we're seeing. We shouldn't be seeing that. Like at least not for the red, I don't think. Let's just go to the picoscope. I mean, it might be right, but I can't see it being right. It's too far off what we're seeing on there. So, goes on there. Let's see how much easier is that to see. So I'll change this down, and it is right. Snacky snack. Let's lower that down. But yeah, it's way easier to see. So 0.8 volts. So we are seeing that, but then this makes no sense. Like, why is that lower? So maybe the feedback one's the one I should ignore. And just stick to my instinct, which that should be lower offset. So is it the green? There's no way these have different offsets, is there? No. So blue is there, green is there. No. So I must have swapped the resistor again wrong, because the values are the same coming in, but the blue is now got an offset here. The green has got an offset down there, and the red has got an offset up here. They're all over the show, so obviously I can only think I've somehow completely messed up the resistors. So let's probe this chip instead, and go to 2, 3, and 4 on the pin in. So if we go to this view with PC over, and there's my little PCB. I need to now put that back over. So pin 2, 3, and 4. So this is the DC offset part. This is where we want this to be 0.2. So you can see that one is not quite, but the point is these should all match. That one's right. So green is right. Blue is just completely not right. And red. So literally, like, we've got 3 different values, which is what doesn't make sense, which is great. So I'm gonna have to swap all the resistors, aren't I, basically? Or take them off and measure, or power them off and measure. Let's see what we get. Simple thing like swapping resistors. So this one, this one, and this one. Right, so third one up. And I don't know what they're going to measure in series. I'm thinking they're going to measure pretty much what they should be. But it's more important just do they measure the same value more than anything to see if they're the same. So the third one, oh, hang on, that's quite crap soldered, looking at it. That might be one of the problems. Let's measure again, third one up. .2, which is about right. Third one over. 2.6. So I've changed the wrong resistor. And second one, I could have sworn I did this right. I was 2.2, yeah, so I've changed the red. I bet it's this one I've changed. What did I change? Somebody go back on stream and find out which one I changed. I could have sworn it was this one, but that's completely wrong. It's either that or, oh yeah, I've changed that one. So I've changed the fourth one down. It should have been the third one. So God knows what I've changed the fourth one to. Which should have been 3K. Oh yeah, I've definitely swapped the wrong one. So we want the third one off. I was so confident as well. Hang on, what am I doing? I'm confused. I'm about to do it wrong again. Which one did I say it was and should be? Third one it should be. And that one above there. Oh, I've changed the fourth, haven't I? So yeah, it should have been the third. But I've changed the fourth, but the fourth should be that. So if I do this right, that explains it. So I bet the blue just wasn't soldered good here. And the red, we need to take off. Take off this one because this is the one we haven't changed. So he needs to go because we should have changed him and didn't. So now we can move this one up. And now we need to reinstate the one that I took off by mistake, which is 3K. So that explains the complete randomness. Yeah, I know it's literally hard to tell which one's which now. So here's 3K. So hopefully this makes more sense now when we plug it in. And then, so I think we were right. I think we just need to gain. In fact, I'm going to do the others as well at the same time because I'm pretty sure they're going to be the 11. So let's leave that as that and find out the output ones. Let's just do them all in one go. So I did one of them, didn't I? I did the bottom one. So now second one up wants to be 11K. And third one up. So this one definitely is the 11K. Blob over them with the soldering iron then. And third one up, GCU. There we go. And now this, hopefully if everything's gone right this time, this should already be now perfect. Should be literally good to go. And what do we reckon? I'm not even going to test. I'm just going to put it on there, turn it on and see what we get. Still looks dark, doesn't it? Probe then. So green isn't changing, or rather that one is. So that's now the same. Yeah, so the good thing is they're all now the same, which is what we wanted. There we go, and that is now. So the gain is right, but we have lost probably the bottom half again. So we should be down here. So we're like 0.2 volts off. Oh yeah, that's called English Sonic. That's the speed of our Sonic. So I got the resistors right this time. Now we just need to lower them. So it's going to be 2K, not 2.4. And to be honest, you know, I think after we did that stream, I'm sure I did end up changing them off stream. I think I probed and realised it was not pulling it down enough, I think. Or we're pulling it down too much. 2 volts. Now you see that's normally pulling it down too much. So, well, the way we'll tell is the input is at 7.6 and 1, 2, 3. This is how we'll tell. 1, 2, 3, blue on there. It's pulled down to 0.3. Yeah, we haven't pulled it down enough yet. So, which is strange, like I say, because it's got the same voltage as the Mega Drive. So we want to pull it down more with these. So let's now do it once per one. So third one up. It's currently 2.2. We're going to lower it to 2. And then we'll get there, hopefully. Right, so that one, I think it will obviously still match the Mega Drive because it's the same voltage, but we wrote down them values too early by the looks of it. And if I remember rightly, I'm sure I did 2 or 1.8. I'm sure of it, so let's try 2. The viz now we've got RGB, yeah, we can just lift a pin up to change it to 60 Hz, but if you had composite, you'd get bad colour without doing like the chroma clock mod. Yep. There we go. And 90th time lucky. Power on. Oh, we've already done the blue. We'll need to scope it. Did we do blue just? Yeah, we did. So it was third. Red, green, blue there. That has made it no different. If anything, it's made it worse. Yeah, it's made it worse. Why has it made it worse? Why is 2 going up, not down? Two should have definitely gone. Okay, let me test. Red, green, blue. And then third one off, short him out. So he lifts off, so the lower goes higher. Yeah, I'm doing it backwards. This is, I remember all this. Now it's all coming back to me. It's exactly what I did after. That's why I got it wrong before on the 2.8. We want to go up. So, I don't know, 3.3. Let's go for that. I'm not even going to turn it off. There we go, a bit too much. So 3k then. I mean, it might be perfect, but I've got a feeling because it's right at the bottom, I've probably clipped a little bit off the bottom. I'm just going to go with 3k. And then we'll probably have to fix the gain after this. You're back on. Let's check out. Well, I'll tell you what, before I do the others, let's just probe that. Green, blue. There we go, perfect. So now we've got 0.1, absolutely perfect. So now on the output, there we go, better. Now we've got 0.3 on the output, which again it should be 0.2, even though the input is literally 0.1. That should be gaining to 0.2, so we've probably got over gain maybe. We'll see. Oh, now it's 0.2. And we've got 7.5, so we're actually. Oh, I'm on the wrong pen. There we go. Must be 1.4. Ah, that's actually perfect. So yeah, the blue is now perfect. And we changed that to 11. Did we change all 3 to 11? We did, so we just need to put the 3Ks on now and we should be right then. So let's do the other two, which is third one down. Yeah. And this one needs to come off. The red okay, and the green is second one up. There we go. that is, hopefully, Perfect Sonic. There we go. So, we'll get rid of that noise as well, jail bars. We were right on the output gain, but the note was old, and I remember now doing the 3K, so just change that note to 3K on the DC offset instead of 2.4 or something, wasn't it, we mentioned? And then that's right for Mega Drive 1 and Master System 2 are both the same. Oh wow, that was annoying. So let's fix that jail bar, which, to be honest, this is RGB modded, so the simplest thing is to stop the chroma, which I'm betting is on the wiki. So let's clean this up. Take that now. The other good thing about the battery, having the battery, is when you've got mains plugged in and grounds, the battery iron still works. Whereas with like the mains powered irons, you can't do this because your iron's grounded. So you can get electric shocks, and it tricks the tip into thinking it's up to temp when it's not. So that's another benefit. They can go away. Let's just fix this. He's done. And that drop is just the capture card, not like, you know, things being unplugged from my computer and stuff. It's dropping the ground every time I'm unplugging things. That's done. That's done. Why can I do all the complicated stuff now when I change resistors? I get it wrong every time. Simple things. I haven't had a single comment on Facebook. I haven't got one watcher. Facebook's died a death. It's like the next TikTok. Right then. What was I doing? I was looking for... Well, that's so annoying. Or is this just not in very well? No, that's unsolid. Yeah, it's in well. Got the grounds. I think that's just the capture card, like I say. I remember it doing that before on this. Let's have a look. Yeah, this isn't dropping on. I'm going to watch it, and when it blacks out, I'm going to see if the OSSC loses sync or not. You watch now, I'll sit staring and this won't drop at all now. Do some droppy thing. Just to prove the console is definitely, you know, it's not the console with the issue. Yeah, it's not going to drop, is he? There we go. Yeah, it's completely stable on that. So that is, I think that's a cam link. That cam link's not very good then. It's just dropping signal for no reason. Unless it's my little, it could be this pass-through thing. Let me try and ignore this little pass-through thing I've got and plug it straight in. See if that stops dropping, because that's annoying. Yeah, that was it. Master System 1 jail bars. Oh yeah, I've got a wiki post on it. Can't be bothered read. Look at there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pin 7 cut is the lazy answer, and we are going to be lazy today. We're going to look for that. 48. There we go. So this is the chip. Pin 7 going across by the word FB7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So literally over the word FB. Like that. We need to just cut him or cut the trace. So I'll tell you what, we'll blow the trace out because we can do it live while we do that. Yeah, so that's the auto switcher, then the HDMI auto switcher was the thing that was shite. Oh yeah, I'll be finished in 2 seconds. I'm going to blow this trace out and then I'm done. So, FB7. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, I think I've cut it because a trace goes underneath maybe as well. Yeah, catch you soon. I bet when I'm touching that, it's going to stop the console as well because I'm going to touch either pin. So let's see if I can cut in. Let's see if that fixes it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to restart. Oh, I wanted that to be live when I did that, so you could see the difference happening. But I presume no jail bars now. No, still a little bit. It's helped, but faint partial. Oh yeah, after this there may be still faint partial jail bars in certain areas, likely due to the clock. Yeah, so I never bothered fixing the rest, so that gets rid of most of the jail bars. I might fix the remaining jail bars if I can be bothered, which would probably be, yeah, it'll be some of the traces running up, so I can find out where they run. I mean, the alternative is, where is the clock coming? Yeah, I could quite easily figure it out to get rid of them last few, because that's quite a, like, I can still notice them jail bars a little bit, but it's obviously better than where it was. And I got that far and found that it's obviously the chroma crystal like it normally is, but I don't think, yeah, this chroma crystal is deriving from this crystal here, the main crystal. Master crystal goes into here, and this is then deriving into the VDP. So we could figure that out when I can be bothered to figure it out, basically, before I send it to the customer. Well, that's it really. A very long-winded clean RGB install because I can't swap resistors apparently, and I haven't made a kit for it yet, so I'm having to do everything manually. And that's why I'm now off to get tea, because that's taken way too long. I was meant to get a Master System and a Mega Drive done, and I've got basically one of them done. Everything takes so much longer on screen. So I'll catch you guys probably tomorrow. See you later.